How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you.
Good.
Well, Authority Zero, there's a lot of coming and going of band members. Do you feel like you have to start over every time someone leaves or joins the band?
There's that kind of a little bit of that feeling, every now and again. There's uncertainty of where it's going, what it's going to become. Every time something like that happens, and it's like I've said before. You never expect for the original guys you play with to end up taking off, and starting to get the chemistry with somebody else, especially given the style of music that you've developed together, and hoping that, the people that come into play will also understand that and have some kind of influence on that music to help it grow and become something more, But it gets trying, but it's been for whatever reasons it needs to be, and I think it's kept it alive, for the right purpose of that too. And I think the people have come into play have done a great job and have been equally as talented and helped it, move in different directions. So.
Okay. To me, Authority Zero is more of a festival band. Do you prefer to play festivals or smaller clubs and venues?
It's kind of the cliche answer, but I like playing both so much.
Okay.
It's both so different. I mean, the club shows, we played a club show last night back in Germany, and it was just awesome. It's like kids are right there, it's like the old saying. It's like you're right there sweating it out with everybody, and everyone's right there in your face. They can scream back to you and like right into the microphone, and it's a completely different feeling than playing at festivals, which festivals are really fun too. You have all the bands out here. Obviously, these guys are over here playing wiffle ball, and it's like a big camp out here, and all the bands from all over the world come, and it's like everyone's just hanging out, having a good time, partying. It's like short 30-minute sets, so everyone's kind of got the mentality like we're gonna get up there, we're gonna kick ass, get in and get out, and then we're gonna hang out with our buddies and watch our friends play all night.
Okay. So. You're doing an acoustic set after the show?
I think we probably will. Yeah, we did last year. We just kind of took it upon ourselves to go to our merch tent and grab our acoustic guitars and start playing, and then a crowd drew around and we started.
Nice.
People started crowd surfing and doing all sorts of stuff and singing along. It's cool.
So, what's the difference to you, crowd-wise, with festivals and smaller clubs?
I think with festivals, it's obviously there's a lot of people that have no idea who you are, which is really kind of cool in that regard, because you're introducing yourself to so many different people that may not have heard
you find
of
out about new bands and stuff.
Yeah, and they're feeding off the energy of the people who do know who you are. And so they're like, if they don't know who you are, they're like, oh shit, I gotta check these guys out. There's something going on here that I don't know anything about, or whatever. So I just think it's great that, people feed off each other more in that regard, and you learn a lot about, like you say, new music, and they definitely walk away with something fresh and different.
Okay.
Whereas, with club shows, people typically come to your club shows, they're coming because they're coming to see your band. And it's cool because they know your songs and they're just like losing their minds too, but there's not a whole lot of surprise element.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the cool thing about festivals like that.
Okay. Andiamo, did I say that right?
You did.
Andiamo was somewhat politically charged. You've made a statement against the invasion of Iraq at the time.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on recent events like terrorism and like the Charleston shooting?
There's a lot going on with that. I mean, it's been an ongoing thing. Obviously, the terrorism has been going on for a long time, I think. It's been an ongoing thing since back when we talked about it back in Andiamo. It's like the same reasons with the wars and why we're coming over and putting our foot into things and all this stuff to try and find some resolution and try and find some liberation for all these other countries, whether it be for legitimately terrorism or for profiteering and all this stuff. Who knows, really? It's a little bit of both, I'm sure, whatever. But I think it's sad. It's just an ongoing cycle. It's you like to see it come to an end. You can talk about it and scream about it all you want, but until the powers that be or the people come together or something's got to happen as a whole to make it come to a final, I think, cease. And it's hard to say if that'll unfortunately the reality ever happen or not. It's keep on going back and forth with the wars. We're gonna fix this. We're gonna do that. We're gonna come back. They're gonna come back and do the same thing back and forth. And it's like it seems like an ongoing vicious cycle. And that's kind of what Andiamo is about. With even 1,000 years of war, it's like around and around we go. We just keep on doing the same shit, and the same cycle keeps on happening over and over again. And it has for years. It's happened throughout centuries of our history. So I can only say I hope there's some peace in the end of it all, but it's hard to say if there will be or not.
Do you think you can make a difference?
I think that everybody can make a difference by talking about it, by saying something. Musicians obviously by encouraging kids to think in different ways that they might not have, and to get out there and, you know, voting, all this stuff, you know, just doing things that they think aren't important that may actually be important, and you know, speaking their minds about it a little more, and just trying to make that kind of impact. It's going to come down to the people as a whole, I think. So I do think that individually it starts with one person and then it kind of spreads.
It'll spread, yeah. Well, reggae influenced music always sounds like happy and relaxed music to me. What does music mean to you? What kind of music do you listen to when you're down, when you're stressed out?
I listen to, it's hard. I mean, sometimes I listen to even heavier music when I'm down and out, you know, it's like, it's nice to get that aggression out. You know, it's nice with the reggae stuff. You know, I love reggae music very much, obviously, too, so it's like, it depends on the environment, I guess. You know, out here in Europe, I listen to a lot of heavier music. I think it's because of the environment I'm in. Again, it's like there are a lot of heavier bands at a lot of these festivals and stuff, and I think you just kind of automatically are kind of drawn to that and influenced by it. And you know, it's cloudy a little more every now and again, so it's kind of like a natural instinct. I think, you know, sitting by a pool or something, or you know, the beach side is like the first thing I'll probably throw on is some reggae music, obviously.
Okay,
too, you know?
yeah.
I love acoustic
reggae music needs sunshine.
Yeah, it feels like it to me. You know, it's like it unfortunately doesn't bring the sun out literally, but it brings it out, you know, metaphorically in some regards. But I think I love acoustic music. I love acoustic music. Like, you know, it certainly helps. Unfortunately, it's like you say, when you're down and kind of sad or depressed or whatever, sometimes listening to those depressing songs, you know, helps you in some regard, because it helps you know that somebody else out there relates to what you're kind of feeling and going through, and
cool.
You kind of put your head up a little more, I think.
Well, a topic I really care about is, like you just said, depression. And I wanted to ask you again, if you don't want to talk about it, just say so if it's too personal. But have you ever been through a period of depression, and what got you through it?
Absolutely, I have. You know, and it's like, I even out here on the road. We've been out here for 4 weeks, and you know, you get lonely out here. Obviously, you have your friends and your buddies and stuff, but you're not hanging out all the time. So you go through those chunks, you know, like you say, if it's darker, gloomier weather, and you're away from home and friends and family, loved ones. It's like you get in your head a lot. You know, you have a lot of time to think. You have a lot of time to overthink. You have a lot of time to really, you know, kind of go to a dark place if you are alone too much out here sometimes. You know.
Yeah.
And, say when that happens, what I do is I end up just writing a lot. You know, that's something that helps me a little bit. At least it gets off my chest, helps me put it out.
Yeah.
But really, I think essentially it just takes time. It really,
Yeah,
like music again. It just takes a little bit of time, in my personal experience, to kind of just get distracted, I guess, or have some kind of event or something come up where you kind of can take your mind off things and get focused again. You know, and that's my thing. I've had a lot of friends and family who've gone through great depressions, like huge depression states. You know, to the point of like medication, obviously, and all this too. So,
but it's a good thing to channel that into something creative, like you write your songs and music.
Absolutely, yeah, and I think that's a great thing for people to maybe take into consideration. You know, you don't. I mean, I know there are certain situations where maybe you need medication for it. Obviously, there's those situations, but I mean, there are other ways I think that you can maybe try and work your way through it, through just expressing yourself, through painting, through drawing, through writing, through music, through screaming, the wall, whatever it is, but I mean, getting it off your chest, and even talking to anybody, you know, talking to your friends and expressing it.
Talking is important.
It is, yeah. If you hold it in, that's where you get to those dark places, because you feel like you have nobody to turn to.
Well, I'm glad you took the bad times in life that you go through, and you shaped it. It'll shape you into the person you'll become. And I'm glad you got to do something positive with that.
Thank you.
Really.
Yeah, if you listen to even some of our songs, you know, you'll hear songs that sound extremely positive, and it's all about this great thing. Like I'm talking to somebody else, but I'm actually, in many regards, talking to myself. You know, there's a song called "Find Your Way" that people really seem to enjoy, because it's, you know, it's kind of like, you know, you figure things out in your life at some point. And that's one of those instances. I was going through a really dark time many years ago, and I wrote that song.
Yeah. Write a song about it for the better.
Yeah. I was like, look, dummy, what's going on? Like, figure it out. You know, it's like you'll figure it out sometime. You know, if not now, then when? If not when, then you know. Whatever.
I still feel like society doesn't allow people to talk about it. Like they try to hide it, and it's important to talk about it, and that you have some people who will listen.
Absolutely.
So. Yeah, thank you for this little chat, and you've made some very interesting points, and hopefully we can do this again sometime.
I'd be happy to.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.